Hello, so today I'm going to integrate a rational function using the method of partial fractions. For the first question, we have the integral of x over x squared minus 2x minus 3 dx. So the first thing that we have to do with this question is we have to factor out the denominator so we can start solving the question itself. So we factor out the denominator by first, as you can see here, we have x squared. So we're gonna write two brackets right here and put one x here and the other x here. And then we have to find two numbers that multiply to make minus 3 and that add to make minus 2. And those two numbers are gonna be minus 3 plus 1. So if you multiply minus 3 and 1, it's going to be minus 3. And if you add minus 3 and 1, it's going to be minus 2. So now that we have that factored out, we're going to rewrite the question with the factored out denominator. So let me just write it here. The integral of x over bracket x minus 3 bracket x plus 1. Okay. Let me just erase this. Okay, there we go. dx. Now that we have that, we want to write one partial fraction for each of the factors on the denominator. So basically, we're going to rewrite this right here. Okay, so x over x minus 3, x plus 1. Now that we have that, we're going to write a over here and b over here. And then for the denominator, we write the first bracket for the denominator of a, which is x minus 3. And then the second bracket for the denominator of b, which is x plus 1. Okay, now we want to get rid of the fractions. And to get rid of the fractions, we are going to multiply the denominator of this throughout the whole thing. So basically, we're going to multiply bracket x minus 3 here and bracket x plus 1 here. And then the same thing with this part. So multiply x minus 3, x plus 1, and so on. Here multiplied x minus 3 and x plus 1. So with this one, we're going to cancel out immediately. And then for this part, we're going to cancel out x minus 3 and x minus 3. And this part, x minus 1, x minus 1. And then we can rewrite it as x equals a multiplied by x plus 1 plus b multiplied by x minus 3. Now that we have gotten rid of the fractions, we now want to find the constants and we want to substitute the roots. So basically, we're now going to equal these brackets to 0. So what I mean by that is basically we're going to write the first bracket. So x, one second, let me just write it down here. So x minus 3 equals to 0. And we want to solve for x. To solve for x, we have to get rid of the minus 3. So we're going to plus 3 on this side, plus 3 on this side. And then x is going to be 3. And then we're going to do the same with the next bracket. So we're going to equal it to 1, so we can solve for x. So here we're going to minus 1 and minus 1. And then x is automatically going to be minus 1. Now that we have that, we're going to first substitute the first x and then the second x. So we are able to find what a and b are, so we can substitute it into the partial fractions. So let's start by substituting 3. So instead of x, we're going to write 3. So let's write it here. 1 second. Okay, 3 equals a. 3 plus 1, b, 3 minus 3. So this cancels out, and then we're left with 3 equals a multiplied by 4. And then we divide by 4 to get rid of the 4 multiplied to the a. And so we are able to find a, and a is 3 over 4. Now we substitute the other x, which is x minus 1, to find what b is. So 1 second, let me just move this up so you can solve it. Okay, so we're going to substitute minus 1 as x. So minus 1 equals a, then minus 1 plus 1 plus b minus 1 minus 3. So this automatically cancels out, and we have minus 1 equals b minus 4. And then we can divide both sides with minus 4, so we are able to find b. So minus 4 and minus 4. The negatives both cancel out, and we're left with b equals to 1 over 4. Now that we have what a and b are, we can substitute them into the partial fractions, and we can actually rewrite this question so we can make it easier for us to solve. And we do that by just writing the integral, and then we write a over x minus 3. So a, which is 3 over 4 x minus 3, plus b over x plus 1. b over x minus plus 1. Yeah, sorry. Now that we have that, we can write the answer of this question, which is going to be, since we know already that 1 over x, the integral of 1 over x equals ln x, ln the absolute value of x, we can now solve this by saying that the answer is 3 over 4 ln the absolute value of x minus 3 plus 1 over 4 ln the absolute value of x plus 1. And since there's no space here, I'm just going to write it down, plus c, but this is a part of the answer itself. And basically that is the answer itself, and I could just do this, bring that up here, or actually 1 second, let me just put this, move the c here, continue the equal here, and there you go, that's your answer. So for this question, we're going to continue on by doing the same exact thing as we did with the last question. And for this question is asking us to solve the integral of x minus 1 divided by 2x plus 5 multiplied by x minus 8 dx. So the first thing we have to do is to factor out the denominator, but since the denominator is already factored out, we can skip that part and move on to the next step, which is to write one partial fraction for each of the factors on the denominator. So let's rewrite this as it is right here. So x minus 1 divided by 2x plus 5 and x minus 8. Here we go. Yes, here, equal. And then a over the first factor, which is 2x plus 5, plus b over the second factor, which is x minus 8. There we go. And then now we have to get rid of the fractions. And getting rid of the fractions, we have to multiply this by the whole thing throughout. So we're going to write here 2x plus 5, x minus 8, multiplied by 2x plus 5, x minus 8 multiplied by 2x plus 5x minus 8. And you can cancel this out, cancel this out, cancel this out, cancel this out. X minus 8 and x minus 8 cancel each other. There we go. Now we have gotten rid of the fractions, and we can rewrite this without the fractions. So let's write it here, right here. X minus 1 equals to a multiplied by x minus 8 plus b multiplied by 2x plus 5. Okay, now that we have that step done, we have to now find the constants by substituting the roots. So we're going to find the value of 0 within those two. No, I'm sorry. Find the value of x within those two factors, and we do that by equaling it to 0. So here, let's write 2x plus 5 equals 0, and let's write here to x minus 8 equals to 0. There we go. So we solve for x by minusing 5 at first on each side. So 2x equals minus 5, and then you divide by 2 here and divide by 2 here. So that leaves us with x equals minus 5 over 2. And then on this side, we're going to do the exact same thing. So plus 8 and plus 8, and that leaves us with x equals 8. Continuing on, now that we have our values for x, we want to find a and b, and we do that by first substituting the first value of x and then substituting the next value of x. So let me just do that. So let's write, instead of x, the value of it, the first value, which is minus 5 over 2. Minus 1 equals a. Then minus 5 over 2. No, sorry. Let me just, yeah, there we go. And then minus 8 plus b. 2 minus 5 over 2 plus 5. And then this is equal to 0, so we just cancel it out. And for this one right here, it will equal to minus 7 over 2 equals to a multiplied by minus 21 over 2. And then if we multiply, if we divide minus 21, 2 on this side, and minus 21 over 2 on this side, that leaves us with a equals to 1 over 3. Okay, now that we have what a is, we're going to find b by substituting the next value, which is 8, next value of x. So let me just do that here. So instead of x, we're going to write 8. So 8 minus 1 equals to a. 8 minus 8 plus b multiplied by 2 multiplied by 8 plus 5, which gives us 7 b 21, and then we divide 21 on this side and divide 21 on this side, which leaves us with b equals 1 over 3. Okay, now that we have what a and b are, we can now substitute it into the partial fractions that we have right here. So let me just rewrite this because it's a bit messy, not gonna lie. So 1 second. Just move that to the top. There we go. So we're going to write the same exact thing right here, but on the bottom, and we're going to rewrite the question. So the integral of, we're going to write a, which is 1 over 3, 2x plus 5 plus 1 over 3 x minus 8. Yes. Okay. dx, let's not forget. Okay. So there's a couple of points that I have to state so we can continue on and solve the first part of the integration. So we have to know that as the derivative, so d over dx, of ln, the absolute value of 2x plus 5, equals to 2 over 2x plus 5. So that means that we need to multiply 2 here and 2. So let me elaborate on that. So we need to do that to integrate the first part, since the constant is not to integrate the first part. And since the constant, which is right here, which is 2, is not 1, we can't leave the numerator as 1. We have to equal it to the constant, which is 2. So since the constant is 2, the numerator is 2. Since the constant, for example, if the constant is 5, the numerator is 5, and so on, so on. So we do that by multiplying by 2, by multiplying by 2 right here. But there's also one point that we can't change the question from its origin. We can't just alter the question. We have to have a way to cancel out that 2, so we can leave the origin and not change it at all. And so we do that by writing, let me just shift the question right here so we have space. Okay, there we go. By writing 1 over 2, so we are able to cancel this 2 whenever we want to. Okay, and that leaves us with, 2 over 3, 2x plus 5. Okay, now that we have that, we can get rid of the 3 right here, and we can move it outside. So 2 multiplied by 3 is 6. And let me just rewrite this right here. Let me rewrite the question. So 1 over 6, then integral of 2 over 2x plus 5 plus 1 over 3x minus 8 dx. And since I stated that the derivative of ln, absolute value of 2x plus 5, equals 2 over 2x plus 5, we can assume that the integral of 2 over 2x plus 5 is ln 2x plus 5. So let me just write the answer. So the answer would be, let's write the fraction. So 1 over 6 ln 2x plus 5. And since here we have a constant of 1 and there's nothing here, that means it's automatically equals to 1. And this is 1, then we can easily just write it as 1 over 3 x minus 8. Oh, sorry, ln absolute value of x minus 8 plus c. And we don't have to do anything here, and we don't have to alter anything or multiply it by anything, because the constant equals to 1. And that is the answer. It's quite confusing, but once you get the hang of it, you'll be able to do it very easily and simply. Yeah, thank you for watching the video, I guess.